Is it too early to start negotiations with the Golden Knights free agent class of 2024, and namely the Conn Smythe winner, Jonathan Marchessault? Our thoughts are coming up ahead right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thank you so much for making us your first listen, your team every day. Subscribe on the Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. We are on Twitter at Tony Dasco, at TDChrisG, at Locked On VGK, and find us wherever you get your podcast. We are brought to you today, our episode brought to you by FanDuel. Sign up today, FanDuel.com/LockedOn, and get up to $200 in bonus bets on Major League Baseball. It's not too soon, right, Chris, to start thinking about the future for VGK. After this upcoming season, 3 free agents could hit the market as unrestricted free agents, led by Jonathan Marchessault. You also have Chandler Stephenson, the All-Star, and William Carrier. So the salary cap, as we know, is supposed to be raised, expanded, if you will, at the end of this season. And so can't VGK hypothetically take a look at the future and maybe add in an additional, I don't know how much, 4 to 5 million? Do you think perhaps?
4 million is projected, 4 million.
Okay, so 4 million is projected. Can they maybe start to negotiate now, especially with Marchessault, who is in, this will be his 6th year already of his deal, again, so they avoid any issues with free agency later on. Is this the time to begin the talks?
I think so. It doesn't hurt to kick the tires and see what the other player is thinking, find out what the team is thinking. And I don't think anyone wants there to be a distraction once the season starts, especially with someone like Marchessault. Stevenson, Carrier, Amadio, Martinez, Ben Hutton. So there's 6 total free agents coming up for the 2024 class, if you will, if that's the proper way to address that. And you're going to start with Marchessault, and I think the first question is how much money and what type of term can he expect? And it's the only thing working against him is he's going to be on, the wrong side of 33 when the next season ends. So, I mean, if you're talking another 4 or 5 year deal, dude's almost going to be pushing 40. So I don't think you're going to see something in that type of term, but 3 years. I mean, do you think he gets a raise though, Tony? Like, that's the other tough thing.
Well, okay. So you really want to get me started, don't you? So Marchessault,
I didn't say William Karlsson. Stop it.
Okay. Well, that is going to come up here because we're talking dollars and cents here. So I'm very curious what Marchessault's asking price is. He's at $5 million currently, and Karlsson accounts for 7% of the cap, makes $900,000 more than Jonathan Marchessault. That's a travesty. That's absolutely just that's just ridiculous. Okay. And so you look at his numbers, 158 goals with VGK, 123 points the last 2 seasons. Again, Marchessault in the playoffs, 13 goals, 25 points in the playoffs, and a plus 17, Chris. And here's a guy that deserves somewhere in the vicinity. He's got to be around 6, at least 6. He's at least 6 to 7 million, period. He's got to be a $7 million player. He's going to deliver 30 goals again this season because that's what he's been averaging of late.
So his points for the last 3 years, you have the COVID year in there. So he scored 44 points in the COVID year, which would adjust out to 65, 70.
Right.
66 points in 21-22, 57, 22, 23, 40, 66 games. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there has to be regression at some point, right? And you have to also start thinking about the Riley Smith situation. Am I saying they're going to trade Jonathan Marchessault, so they can move on from him instead of giving him another contract? Conn Smythe winner. I mean, this is an important year, right? This is going to obviously be an important year. He's going to get paid. He is going to get paid, whether it's going to be in Vegas or whether it's going to be with someone else who sees him as like a David Perron type, who's going to put up points, be that veteran who can be on one of your top two lines. $6 million being a lock, I don't think is. If he's a 27-year-old that has a better ceiling, yeah, $6.5 million all day long. But the reality is he's going to be 33, 34 when that season begins of his new deal, wherever that's going to be. So that's working against him. It would be nice if VGK can just say, hey, 3 more years, $5 million per, and lock this thing up. You know, he's got his family here. He's got everything planted here. You don't think so?
No.
5.5?
He's making 5. No,
5.5?
No. How could William Karlsson makes 900,000 more?
If you base that off everything, though, then Jack Eichel's a $20 million player, Tony.
Like he needs.
I get what you're saying. I'm
going to say 7 million. I'm going to say 7 million.
It won't be in Vegas.
Give him 2 years.
It won't be in Vegas.
That's
it won't
fine.
Be in Vegas. Then.
That's fine. He deserves a lot more, and this will be his final big contract. Right? This will be the
most
final
likely,
big
yeah. I mean, most likely. And I mean, he's not going to take a 1-year deal next year to go somewhere to prove it. He doesn't need to prove himself to anybody, unless he has, a strange injury that does knock him out most of the year. But the Karlsson contract is what it is. That can't be changed, and it's not going to be changed until
27.
Until flying cars are officially a thing. It feels like
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, 26, 27. So
yeah.
This is, it kind of goes back to the Barbashev thing. Player has a big season, they get this big contract. Will they earn it? I don't know. But point being is, I don't think anyone on the Golden Knights can base their upcoming contract off William Karlsson. We're not going to split hairs about William Karlsson, what he does for the team. Is he worth a $5.9 million deal? I don't think so. I don't think he hasn't earned that, is a better way to say it. He has not earned that since his first contract.
And here's a guy that has earned it. He's earned every cent, and he's got to get paid. I think I don't care about what his age is. I feel that he still has a ton of hockey left.
Who's got a higher ceiling right now, Marchessault or Barbashev?
Great question. Great question there.
Because they're both at $5 million. And
they're both
Barbashev coming right into his, he's right in the midst of the prime of his career, where Marchessault, he's
different players, different skill sets. Again,
but the stats are close at the end of the day, at least for Barbashev's top end of his stats.
Okay.
So
I still say
good conversation though. It's good conversation.
I still say Marchessault. It just has that consistency, right?
Stephenson. We got to talk about him. I mean,
these are the top 3, I think. And then because I still feel, Martinez is gonna walk. I mean, he's at the end.
He walks, or the dollar figure goes way down. Either way, it's advantageous for Vegas.
Okay, so the all-star Chandler Stephenson, right, makes $2.75 million. I like his versatility. We've talked about that. He could be a center, he could be a left winger, what have you. And Stephenson now is going to be asking for a lot more money. Had 10 goals in the playoffs this past season. Again, another player who is consistent. He is underpaid at 2.75. How much do you think a Chandler Stephenson would ask for?
I mean, talk about a great deal for the Golden Knights, and what a find when they traded a 4th or a 5th round pick for the 4th line center at the time. I mean, maybe is this a Misha Donskov scouting thing? Because this was obviously big in his world. I wonder if whose guy Stephenson. I know McPhee has the history with him, but was McPhee the one banging the drum, or was it someone else that saw something in him? So Stephenson's entering the final year of his $2.75 million deal per year. I mean, looking at his points, dude averages 60 points a season. He
and he played in 81 games this past season.
He did.
And the prior season, I think he missed 1 or 2 games due to the death of his grandmother. He could play 82 games. I forgot, why did he miss a game this past season? I can't recall. But in any event, 81 games. Slacking off, yeah.
No, I mean, thinking about what his deal could be worth, he's really attached himself to Mark Stone. We learned that Chandler Stephenson is Mark Stone's center. Unfortunately, Mark Stone is on the ice a lot in the regular season. Insert a joke about the salary cap circumvention here. So what kind of money can we expect for Stephenson? I mean, he's got to be a $5 million player, easily a $5 million
Exactly.
player.
Okay, so if he's a $5 million player, Jonathan Marchessault is worth 7. He's worth at least 7. He's worth.
If they were the same age, I would agree with you on that. Is it fair to expect Marchessault is going to have a 60, 65 point season? Sure, especially with what's going to happen, hopefully, with Barbashev and Eichel having a full training camp and a full 82 game season together. Marchessault's stats might inflate a little bit. Will he have another Conn Smythe level, playoff? I mean, obviously, a lot of luck has to happen for the Golden Knights to even have anyone in Conn Smythe consideration. Marchessault has to check a lot of boxes to become a $7 million player, as he'll be 33, 34 years old when he signs that contract. That's why I don't see him getting $7 million just based on his age. Now, if he goes 40 goals, 50 assists, something crazy like that this season, fine. He's getting $7 million, probably $14 million on a 2-year deal from Vegas or elsewhere. But yeah, I mean, if you give Stephenson this big of a raise, then I see where you're going with that. I do. I see where you're going with that. And Stephenson, local friendly deal at 4.5. Marchessault, a local friendly deal at 5.5. There you go.
Not 5.5. No way. No way is he going to make $900,000 less than William Karlsson when he's outperformed him in every way, every single way.
Yeah, I don't know. You can't.
And I'm not saying that because
that.
of my bitterness towards Vegas Bjorn being overpaid.
Shut up, Tony. There you go. Rita.
You like
there you
that?
Go. Hashtag.
Our folks really liked that yesterday. That was great. William Carrier, again, another one of the free agents.
That's a weird one, huh?
Yeah, 1.4 million. If he gets in at 1.8, I think it should be good.
But injuries. He flirts with 20 goals last year. He can do better, I think, than that. Honestly,
there's going to be a lot of players like stuffing their stats this upcoming season if they continue to produce offensively the way that they did towards the end of this past season. If this is going to be the norm, and we could talk about, again, this juggernaut on another episode, but if this continues, you're going to have a lot of career years, I believe, out of players on the VGK.
Sounds like another Stanley Cup for Vegas next year.
It could very much happen. Very interesting. And who were some of the other free agents that you had mentioned? I just went with the
Amadio,
the top ones that I thought.
Amadio,
okay.
$762,000. He's definitely getting a raise. I mean, great waiver claim, obviously. We mentioned Alec Martinez. That deal will work itself out, whatever it's going to be. I mean, maybe some of the money that the Golden Knights need to give to Marchessault and or Chandler Stephenson will be saved, because Alec Martinez, his days of $5 million a year are coming to an end, and he's earned every penny of it. But it's just age breakdown. We can go a mile long. Ben Hutton, $850K. They'll find a way probably to keep him. Whether Ben Hutton wants to stay or not might be the bigger conversation. He might want to have a shot to crack a top 6 somewhere else. Amadio will be interesting. I hope they can find a way to keep him. He'll have a spot on anywhere in this lineup as long as he's healthy.
Coming up next, VGK's Paul Cotter is playing in a high-level summer league in Brighton, Michigan. We'll talk about what Cotter has to work on skill-wise over the summer to earn a starting position. We'll get to that when we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Birddogs make you look really good. Birddogs stretch khaki shorts are designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and through the leg, giving you a truly sculpted look. And the shorts do the same exact thing as Lululemon, but they fit a lot better. They fit much better than regular shorts that are made of stiff, restricting cotton. And Birddogs fix this issue by inventing something called cloud knit fabric. And it looks just like khaki, but it stretches in a way that it makes you look much slimmer. And it's really cool. And Chris and I really do enjoy our Birddog shorts. Birddogs also uses something in the way of an anti-stink sweat wicking fabric that keeps you cool and dry all day long. And let me tell you, I go golfing in 117-degree weather like I will this Sunday, and it doesn't stick to me. I love these shorts. Very cool, very dry all day long. Go to birddog.com/LockedOnNHL or enter the promo code LockedOnNHL for a free Yeti-style tumbler like this one right here.
There it is.
This thing is really good, too. We really send more. Of course, you get that with your order, and that's birddogs.com/LockedOnNHL. Use the promo code LockedOnNHL for a free Yeti-style tumbler right there. And again, you won't want to take your Bird Dogs off. We promise you. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. We appreciate you making us your first listen each and every day. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights. Don't forget, coming up on Friday, again, it is WTF, What the Friday. And a reminder that next week, starting next week, we will be down to 3 days per week. Sob. I know there's sobbing out there. I know you rely on us 5 days a week, all of our everydayers. So Paul Cotter stepped on the ice for the first competitive skate, I guess, since April the 6th on Sunday. He's playing in a league in the Made in Michigan Elite League, and it's back in Brighton, Michigan. And it's a league designed, Chris, to give top players in the region an opportunity to stay sharp and to work on their skills and to compete in the off season. It doesn't look like there's a lot of checking that goes on. You've got pro players, you've got college players, juniors, high school players even. And for Cotter now, this is a good opportunity to stay in shape. But what are some of the skills, do you believe, that he needs to work on over the offseason, over the summer, to perhaps be that favorite to replace a Riley Smith?
He's noticeable in a physical sense. Like Barbashev, he can lay out a mean reverse hit on somebody when they're going to try and blindside him and something like that. Where Cotter needs to become more noticeable is obviously on the offensive side of the ice. He's a perfect player that can go and get dirty and score those goals from, the crease, a foot or two outside the crease. Whether he's able to, he was on a line with Jack Eichel, for a good chunk of the last season and was unable, his stats, I don't have them in front of me, but they weren't a standout level by any mean. And then obviously led to him being a healthy scratch when it really mattered the most down the stretch. And when you saw his name in the lineup, you're like, okay, if this game goes to a shootout, we're in a good spot. But outside of that, you just didn't see a lot of positive that he brought to his line mates. And listen, he's on a 2-year deal this is the last season he has two-way eligibility. So they don't need to rush Paul Cotter, which is not a bad thing. The Golden Knights got a lot of different players that could compete for that spot, whether it's Howden, Amadio, Dorofeev, just to name a couple who can kind of compete for those last couple of winger spots. So the Golden Knights might choose to take a slower approach with Paul Cotter and let him kind of develop a little more at the AHL level. I know Cotter probably wouldn't dig that a whole lot, but that might be what's best for him long term, because he just, we mentioned the lack of identity for a long time last year, and a player like Paul Cotter might have been one of the issues with that, because Cotter should be able to create some level of an identity, at least for whatever line he's out there with. He brings the physicality, which is good. He has the skill tool set to be that unique top 6 player, though. He might be able to, just shooting from the hip for a second here, he might morph into a Tom Wilson type at some point. If he can put on a little more build, become that 20-goal scorer pretty consistently, while he's also a physical force. He doesn't need to do all the crazy stuff that Tom Wilson does and getting suspended and all that sort of thing. But, he could be that hybrid enforcer / goal scorer. And I think that would be a wonderful path for someone like Paul Cotter to pursue. As far as playing in the summer league, I don't know how much it's really going to help. I think it's probably more about having fun, conditioning. I don't even know how much conditioning you're getting out of this, but it's fun. I think it's important for these players to find whatever makes them want to do this. Yes, playing inside T-Mobile Arena in front of 18,000 hockey fans or going on the road, that's exciting. That really is exciting to anyone, and it's exciting to be there. But a player might find more value, more personal value, if you will, getting out there with some, a range of kids and some former pros and some current pros and just having fun. And that could just kind of reincarnate him.
Yeah, it's a lot of his friends. And
exactly.
Some of his friends they came back to Las Vegas during the Cup run. And when VGK hoisted the cup. So he was really excited to have a lot of his buddies there. And here is a player that VGK, you know, we do give them a hard time about not developing players, but here's a former draft pick. He went from playing 7 games a couple of seasons ago, Chris, to 55 games this past season. And that despite, I think he was out about a month, right, with that injury this season. And so
a couple different times. Yeah. One head injury, I think, in there.
Yeah. And so 55 games, it's pretty solid for a guy in the NHL who contributed. And again, that's a pretty big leap going from 7 NHL games to 55. They do see an upside. They do see a promise.
A ton of upside, plenty of upside. He's 23 years old. There is no rush for Paul Cotter to, I mean, listen, if he becomes an everyday player or, you know, can log another 60 games on the team this season, hopefully, you know, it's all, you know, hopefully he's healthy and can log more than that. But if he can be on the ice for 60 games this season, maybe improve those stats a little bit, that's certainly a good thing. Where does he necessarily fit in on this lineup? I mean, do you put him in the Riley Smith spot? You know, I don't know about that.
He'll platoon a lot.
Yeah, and that's fine.
That spot.
That's fine. I mean, but does Mark Stone, Chandler Stephenson, Paul Cotter do anything for you?
Talk about 55 games. That's about what Stone's going to play, I think.
Fair enough. Season. And then that line changes completely.
And then you're going to have to, you know, play mix and match there an awful lot. One of the things that was kind of funny there was, so Cotter's on the ice, right? There's some video floating out there.
I got to find this.
No, he's wearing, you know, the green jersey, but he's got his VGK,
I just saw
VGK
that. I saw
pants
that.
on.
I saw that. Yeah, that's he's got his helmet.
Funny.
I mean, he's got to carry his own bag to the hockey rink. That poor guy.
Poor fella there gets so spoiled on the NHL level. And Cotter doesn't know. He said when he's going to get the cup, he said probably sometime in August. He said he's putting it off, sort of. I don't understand that, but it's really good to see these players.
He's back of the bus. He's back of the bus.
It's great to see these players now. He's a Stanley Cup winner, and there he is in Brighton, Michigan. And a lot of the kids are aspiring to be Paul Cotter. I think it's cool. And then they play a championship game on the 28th of July. And at that point, he's going to sign autographs, take $5 donations for charity. So it's just, there's some great stories over the summer.
He's doing it right. He's doing it right.
Know, following a lot of these players around is pretty cool.
Yeah,
coming up next, where is the Stanley Cup at today? We're trying to chart it because they don't have an app or anything for us to follow along. It's coming up next right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Take your first swing at betting MLB on FanDuel and get 10 times your first bet amount in bonus bets up to $200. That's right. It's $20 that you lay down, and you could land $200 in bonus bets, win or lose, or as Chris says, win, lose, or draw, but there's no more draws. So that's $200 that you can spend betting on everything from the money line to the totals to, again, who you think will get that first home run. And again, it's on the app that is safe, secure. We can't stress that enough. Super easy to use, especially for people like me. Plus, when you win, you get paid instantly. There's no better place to bet on MLB than on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Sign up today. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn. Get up to $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/LockedOn. FanDuel, official partner of Major League Baseball. Welcome back on Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. We come to you from Las Vegas, home of the Sphere and home of people throwing furniture out of a window at Caesar's Palace and naked people standing on bars.
No, he was on a blackjack table. He was on a blackjack table. He was, dude.
Hit me.
I don't want to make light because we don't know what was going through this person's mind. But
no, maybe that
just
was
another night in Vegas.
About 25 years ago. I think that was me on the bar.
That wouldn't surprise me.
He was on the blackjack.
You said win, lose, or draw earlier. How cool if the Major League All-Star game would have been tied last night and gone to the home run derby for the tiebreaker.
I don't know that I like that. I don't know that I like that at all.
I don't know. I mean, I think an on schedule. I think the chaos would make it fun. I mean,
I liked watching the end of the game. You know, that was the best part for me. Just it was fun, and so there was some good drama and stuff.
My bad luck continues. I had action on Luis Robert Lubob winning the home run derby, which fine, he won the first round. And I'm pretty heavily invested in him in my sports card world. I got basically a suitcase full of cards. I've made a 5-figure collection, dropped to a 4-figure collection, unfortunately, because of all his injuries and stuff. But dude had a good showing in the home run derby. And then now it comes out he hurt himself during the derby, and he's, you know, like day to day coming back to the season.
That's
on
why
Friday.
I don't
It's
like the derby. Yeah.
Well, this new version of it is so entertaining and all the swings, but my God, these guys swinging the bat, you know, 60, 70 times like that in a 2-minute span, that hard. It's
hitting 41 home runs. That was insane. And I just like now the pitchers are like more compact. They don't even go into a windup. They just throw with their arms, right? Did you see that?
Yeah.
And rapid fire. Okay. Hey, so we did find Misha Donskoff. And guess what? He was not in the home run derby. The former VGK assistant had the cup yesterday, somewhere back east, right? And again, it was really cool to see. It was back in Columbus, I guess, Ohio. And Donskoff hockey is pretty big. His dad, Paul, was there, and they do have they do develop a lot of players. Where are you at, brother?
I'm right here. That was unfortunate. Now I gotta get the screen out of the way and see what my camera looks like.
This is live, folks.
This is live. Oh yeah, we're not editing this out. We're not.
So it's great though. He did have the cup there at the rink, and they signed again. They signed autographs. He signed autographs, and folks could take their picture with the cup. They had stanchions in a long line in one of the photos that I saw. This is terrific. This is so cool, even for a lame duck coach. No, he's not a lame duck. He's out. We don't know where.
There's going to be something coming out.
Never mind where's the cup. Where's Donskoff? Where's he going to be?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate whatever happened there, and I don't know what happened there. And unless Donskoff tells us what happened there or some rumblings happened, you just don't put a tweet out at 8:42 on a Sunday night saying one of your highest level people besides the coaches that stand behind the bench is gone. So that was unfortunate the way that worked out. You know, we do have a little bit of a note to pass along here. We've been concerned, Tony. Our followers have been really concerned about, you know, your comments about, you know, the cup not being sanitary, and, you know, when people eat and drink out of it, it's just not that good. Well, WS Keeson 3382 on YouTube, the Stanley Cup is sterling silver. Sterling silver is 0.999 pure and resists bacteria. So Tony, if that thing comes, dude, you can lick it and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be licking that.
You'll be fine. It's 0.999 pure. It's fine. You'll be fine.
So where will the cup be today? Can it make that cross-country sojourn and wind up at the ESPYs tonight? Tonight are the ESPYs. And by the way, VGK nominated for 2 awards. So we will see, I think, that influence of the Vegas Golden Knights. Best team. Yeah, they'll win that one. Marchessault, best NHL player. No, he won't win that. But
they're not winning the best team. That's against all the other like champions and stuff.
Yeah, for once they'll win
any awards.
They'll
ESPN.
They'll win the best team.
I hope so. It'd be cool. I mean, you know,
Marchessault comes out with the cup, and then Leah asks him what he had for breakfast today.
Perfect. Now we got a story. I mean, it's cool, right? You know, hockey getting any attention on the mainstream, and SPs, ESPN, there's that connection, obviously. And I mean, we're gonna have to deal with ESPN for a little while longer, I think. Well, whatever. We got to make this a bash fest. But it'll be fun. Hopefully the Golden Knights do get some screen time, win, lose, or draw the award. There you go, Tony. Hopefully they do
have in sports.
Yeah, hockey used to be draws. That was the dumbest
thing.
Although
football, win, lose, or draw in the
college football had ties.
Oh yeah, and the mythical national champion.
They have two. I mean, I don't like. Stop doing ties in MLS and the USL soccer league while we're talking about this.
Oh man,
stop doing ties.
USL, they're going to start the relegation process. Perhaps that's a whole nother show.
Wait, are we talking USFL or USL soccer?
USL. I just said USL.
What relegation? Soccer. What is that? What are you talking
relegation,
about?
The bottom teams like go somewhere else, like in the Premier League. They drop them down a level.
How much lower can the Las Vegas Lights go?
Is there another league?
Are they going to Michigan to play hockey with Paul Cotter?
No, that says elite, brother. That's the elite league.
Okay.
On Thursday, man, we are all over the place today, from sanitary cups to Misha Don.
Stanley Cup, sanitary
Stanley Cups.
Let's be clear about that one.
Bruce Cassidy gets shut up, Tony. Bruce Cassidy gets the cup on Thursday. I don't know if Eichel goes today or on Friday. He said late in the week. So now I'm definitely assuming
Friday,
it's on
Saturday.
Friday.
Honestly, you know what? He's getting 2 days with the cup. That he's gonna need a recovery day. He's gonna need a recovery day with the cup.
Well, there's one player that's not been on the ice, at all. The only ice he's seen is in his drinks.
Eichel, he's I still go by the
Is he going to be the first player? Will he be the first player, right, on the cup tour to take his shirt off? Yeah. He's about minus 500 there.
I think minus 500 is generous. I would definitely take that action if the house was willing to give me that. I could see Eichel having a rowdy party with it. I could see him doing the family stuff during the day and all that, and then I'm going out.
Coming up on tomorrow's show, we'll be taking a look at the ESPYs, of course, and see how.
I'll be working on mounting my camera a little bit better.
We'll talk about. You wanted to talk about the. What did you call them? The bottom.
We're going to dumpster dive. We're going to talk about the bottom 4 teams in the Pacific.
Okay. Who are those bottom 4 teams?
The Flames, the Ducks, the Sharks, the Canucks. And
Canucks, yeah.
Honestly, this is how rough that bottom 4 is. The Sharks are actually looking like the best of those bottom 4 right now for their moves.
They've made some improvements.
They have. The Sharks. I crap on them every chance I get. I even put a thing in there about Phil Kessel. If he wants to keep his Ironman streak, he has to go to a non-competitor like San Jose, and no one even picked up on that. I was kind of sad about that. But, the Sharks, they've had a good offseason. We'll obviously talk more about that tomorrow.
Okay, that's on tomorrow's show. We appreciate everyone making us your first listen each and every
sideways.
day.
I got to stand like this so I can be straight. There we go.
What's going on with your camera today? And you made fun of my camera the other day.
No, I made fun of your tech advice.
Okay, my tech advice. It's pretty good. Just do the show anyway. I don't care if there's blurry lines. That's our good friend Haley, who does Locked On St. Louis Blues. We appreciate everyone tuning in.
Pretty funny.
Don't forget, coming up on Friday, it is What the Friday. We appreciate the everydayers. And we'll see you tomorrow. For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. Thanks for tuning in to Locked On Golden Knights.